click the animation menu to create your first animation using the new option. The first one, well, I'm going to call it bouncing. The coin will be bouncing, and this gives us a timeline. You can click and drag at the top to set the current time. I'm going to use the slider in the bottom right to zoom in a little bit on the time range. And we're going to add a track for our sprite's position, I think. We're going to only move the sprite a little bit and keep the area in place. Or you can try to move the entire area 2D. Let's try that and see if everything works fine in the game. Sometimes when you move the area with the collision shape, you have to make sure that the collisions, the physics engine, takes everything into account, but that should be fine. I'm going to use the box to the right of the timeline to set the animation length, the gray area on the timeline. Let's go with 1.8 seconds, should do the trick. And our bouncing animation will loop. For that, you want to click the loop icon to make this animation loop. So to start animating, select the area 2D, our coin, and we want to uncheck the rotation key at the top of the screen, the viewport in the toolbar, and only have the location active, so blue in this case. This is the key, the property that will be automatically keyed on the coin, here, the selected node, when we press the insert key. So if I press insert or click the key icon in the toolbar, it's going to insert a track, a position track for the coin for my area 2D node. If you have a pop-up that asks you to confirm to create the track, you can just press OK. This new track that's appeared has one key that is going to tell the computer, tell Godot, to set the coin to be at this position that we see in the inspector when we select the keyframe. We're going to move forward in time, and with the coin still selected, press W to go into the move tool, click, shift and drag to move the coin up. Then you can press the insert key to insert a new keyframe on that position track. And if you drag your mouse cursor on the animation track, you will see that now the coin goes up and down. And if you select the second keyframe, the Y value is going to be different from that of the first keyframe. Now we're going to make the position of the coin below the origin on the first keyframe. So you have to move the coin with the time cursor on the first keyframe, and then you have to press insert to update the keyframe, to key or to commit that value. Then when you click and drag, you will see now the coin moves around the origin. You can press Shift D to play the animation from the start and preview it a little bit. The coin is moving quite a lot. It's moving a little too much. Note that you can press S to stop the animation. We are going to reduce the values. I'll select the first keyframe and in the inspector change the value to 10 pixels. And then the second keyframe, I'll set it to -10 pixels. Okay, this should be a little better. Now the animation is a bit robotic. The interpolation, the way the computer transitions from one key to the next, is linear at the moment. It means that the value is going to be the average weighted by the time difference between the two keyframes. We want to change that to spice up the animation. To do so, we can select a keyframe and use the easing property in the inspector. You can click and drag on that curve to change the transition between the values. So pull the curve to the left and press Shift D to see how the coin now moves. You can see it gets some kind of impulse now moving up, and it doesn't really get it moving back down. So we can select the second keyframe and click and drag the curve to the right so that the coin is going to bounce, it's going to go up and then slowly fall down and bounce back up as the animation restarts. It's a little slow maybe at the moment, so you can click and drag the middle keyframe to shorten the animation and set the animation duration to, let's say, 1.4. And now the coin bounces a bit faster. You could give it a really fast bounce, 1.2 seconds. I'll let you play a bit with that and see how fast you want the coin to move. But with that, we have our bouncing animation.